We're talking your job and dating, more specifically, passport bros. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-daddling a little bit, and then we're going to be talking about should you quit your job, and then we're going to be talking about relationships and gender dynamics. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it, but you can call it because you got some things that you said that you wanted to get off your chest. Very rarely, ladies and gentlemen, does my sister hit me up before we do the show, days before we do the show, and say, I got something to say. Mm-hmm. She didn't say, hey, Dre, I got something to say. She said, hey, Bruce, I got something to say. So I'm going to clear out and let you go.
Yeah. This is for literally everybody. I was going to say this is directed towards men, but it's really not, because the more people I've talked to, the more people who have dealt with this. It's literally for everybody. Have you ever been in a customer service situation? Okay, maybe you dropping your car off for an oil change, you going to the dentist, something like that, and the person that's supposed to be helping you and providing that service hits on you. And now this is a person you're going to have to see again. And now this interaction has become awkward. Let me tell you a little story.
Okay.
I have a neighbor, great neighbor, that I adore. I love my neighbors, okay? He's got a cousin that mows his lawn. Knew I needed my lawn mowed. Mm-hmm. Say, hey, here's my cousin's number. I'm going to give it to you. Go on, have him come mow your lawn. He'll give you a good price. He really did too, and did an excellent job. Like, he came out, mowed the lawn, weed whipped, everything, blew all the clippings. I did a great job for a really great price, a lot less than my old lawn guy. So I'm like, hey, this is my guy. Mm-hmm. This is my guy, right? I come out to pay the man. You married? I said, no. You got a man? No. You got my number. Here we go. Okay? Listen, I just wanted a normal customer service interaction. And this happens to people. I know this has happened to you. You gone into a grocery store or something. Oh, hey, sexy. And you just like, hey, Miss Pearl. And like, it's just like, I just really wanted a normal interaction, a normal customer service exchange of business and services and goods. And now every 2 weeks, I know I'm going to have to deal with this every 2 weeks, because I'm not dropping the dude.
That's what I was just getting ready to suggest. I was like,
he did a great job for a great price. I'm not dropping it. I'm just going to have to deal with it now. And this is the situation. I'm not saying I'm hot stuff. I'm not. I know this has happened to literally probably everybody. Everybody has had an instance where they're supposed to have a normal interaction with somebody and they hit on you. Y'all, please stop doing this when y'all at work. You are at work. You are at work, supposed to be providing a service. And I know somebody's going to say, well, I was changing a lady's carburetor and now she's my wife. I'm happy for you, sir.
Why does he sound like he was changing the carburetor in 1965?
I don't know, but I'm so happy for you, sir. But you are one person, and I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, most people just want a normal interaction when they're exchanging goods and services. That's it. And now you've made it awkward. And every 2 weeks, it's going to be awkward for the rest of the spring and summer.
And the fall.
And a little bit of the fall.
Okay. I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I mean, it is what it is. I told him, I said, I'm straight for now. You had to shoot your shot. I get it.
Why'd you say for now? That means you left the door open.
Damn it. It's very hard because you never know. You know, you got to be careful with your language. You never know.
Yeah.
So as I just had to be careful with my language. So that I said, you know, I'm straight. But I get it. You guys shoot your shot. I get it. But now I know every interaction from here on out is going to be tinged a little bit. It's going to be a little asterisk next to a little caveat there where something's going to be awkward and weird.
Well, you know what the quick fix to that is?
What?
Just say you don't date men.
I mean, yeah, but a lot of guys don't care about that. You know what their response is? Neither do I. We got something in common. And no, I didn't give y'all that line. Don't start using that line when ladies say they don't date men. Don't start. I know somebody out there is going to use it.
Cameron used it in one of his songs. I
remember. He did?
Yeah,
okay.
Cameron used it in one of his songs. Okay, so I don't know if I've experienced maybe I have, maybe not, but I'm different. Women most of the time aren't that forthright, right? It's like, and I can't pick up on cues. I'd be thinking, oh, I met a nice woman today. She wants to be my friend. She asked me for my number and we exchanged numbers. And then next thing I know.
That's exactly how I am.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, you wanna hang out sometime? Sure, you wanna hang out. And then next thing I know, they making a move and I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. I don't know what this is. I'm oblivious.
Yes. I always think I've just made a new friend.
Right.
And it's never that. It's 9 times out of 10, it's never that. And I'm like, oh, that person was nice. You're making a new friend.
Nice for a reason. They real nice for a reason.
Because it's true. I feel like I'm like Forrest Gump. I miss those cues. I'm very you have to say it like straight up or else I'm gonna miss it.
Well, autism.
I pick up on the cues, y'all.
There was one scenario where I was at a bar and a young lady was going to meet me for a drink. It was going to be a date. And she was running late and the bartender was a female.
Okay.
And we're just chatting up. You know me. If I have a couple of drinks, by the way, remind me to tell this story about what I did at my building's like wine and cheese party on Wednesday.
Oh, but good Lord. I'm writing it down.
So you know me, after I had a couple of drinks, I become super friendly.
Yes. And you're already friendly, but you get super friendly. You talk to people around you. You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
And me and the bartender were vibing. And I was kind of like, if this girl that I'm going on a date with, because it was one of them one of them dating app dates. So I never met her in person. So I'm like, she better look like her pictures. Know. Yeah, she better look like her pictures. And so I was like, if this don't work out, I might holler at the bartender. So when the girl arrives, she looks like her pictures 100 pounds ago. Yes. And when I say like big, I'm like, she got to be 325.
Now, y'all, listen. First of all, do not go on a date with somebody you have not FaceTime with. Please FaceTime.
Yeah, this was all the way back in, I think, 2013, 14. FaceTime was a thing, but not really.
Yeah. It's still a lot more people had Androids back then and you couldn't really. Okay, I get that. Yeah.
But yeah, so like literally 100 pounds over a picture. Because, like 200 pounds for a tall woman in today's day and age.
Is not
I like
that.
them curvy.
Yeah.
I like them. I like all types of women. So it really doesn't matter.
Right.
But she came in and my face kind of dropped and the bartender kind of peeped it.
Because it's the false advertising is what it is.
But me and the bartender was still kind of, I thought it was just being chummy. The girl was like, so you know the bartender? I was like, nah, I just met her today. She's like, y'all being real, you need to holler at her or something? I was like, what? It seems like she's trying to get at you. And I was like, really? No, I just think she's just friendly being a bartender. I've been a bartender before. You just be friendly. She's like, nah, she's trying to get at you. And I was like, oh, okay. But the bartender never crossed the boundary. So I don't think most men get that. I think that's more women get that. And women get that probably all the time because women are constantly getting hit on. Because a lot of times men are just creeps.
Yeah. And I'm just like, you at work. Like, please just be professional at work. And also, this goes for people too. Listen, that person's at work. Don't hit on them.
Mm-hmm.
That person is at work. Don't hit on them. I remember working at Hard Rock. We both worked in customer service, worked in restaurants and everything. And I remember I'm the first face you see when you walk in. I'm the host. Boy, it was rough at that host stand.
I know it
And I
was.
was just like, it's just a bunch of young college girls at that host stand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was rough out there. And I was just like, guys, we're at work. We're trying to work. We're trying to make some money right now. And we have to smile at you.
Yeah,
We have to
no.
be nice and pleasant and ask how you doing and stuff. But please, please, I'm at work.
But
I
that
just
was on
need people
purpose,
to
though.
be professional.
People are
in
not going to be professional. People, hey, look,
professional
sometimes people got to
settings.
shoot their shot because you never know. You never know if you're going to see a person again, right? Like, you just never know. There was this woman that lived in my building.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I want to say she was, I don't know, maybe Middle Eastern, maybe she was India, actually from India. Beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And one time I said something that immediately when I said it, I was like, oh, that's a creepy thing to say. And I said it out loud. So I got on the elevator. She was on the elevator and always warm hellos with a
Yeah.
smile on the face. I'm like, I don't know if she's being friendly or she's feeling me. And I got on the elevator and her fragrance, whatever she was wearing, was body lotion and perfume, just hit me. And it was just, when somebody's wearing like a good fragrance, you're like, oh,
Yes.
you smell real good. And it makes them even more attractive.
Yes, I steal it. Like,
Yeah.
I will literally be like, what you got on?
Look, let me tell you something. I got this body cream on right now, the bourbon body cream. I'm feeling myself because I smell so good. But anyway,
The Bath and Body Works?
yeah, the Bath and Body Works.
There
I
you
got
go.
it.
Yep.
So I get on the elevator and I was like, wow, you smell amazing. I was like, wow, that was really creepy. I'm sorry about that. She was like, no, actually, that's the intent. Smell
Yeah.
good. Thank you for the compliment. I was like,
Yeah.
you're welcome. I just don't want to be weird, but you smell
You're
really good.
making it weird by continuing to talk.
Oh,
But okay.
I'm gonna make things awkward. I really, really am. And so I was like, one day I'm gonna hit on her.
Mhm.
I'm gonna see. I haven't seen that woman again. I think I've seen her a couple of times in the lobby, but I don't think I've seen her
In
since
passing.
the pandemic. Yeah,
Yeah,
passed.
yeah.
So sometimes you just gotta take your shot. When it's there, you gotta shoot it. But
Yeah.
then when you shoot the shot and you get shot down, be respectful and walk away.
Yes. And
Yeah.
then don't make it weird
Well-
every time I see you now.
Well, no, maybe he's only done it one time, right?
It was the first time he's mowed my lawn.
Okay. So the second time, if he's still pressing, you're
Yeah.
gonna have to kind of have a conversation. Be like, hey, look,
Yeah.
this ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna need you to respect that. And if it's your neighbor's family member, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah, I think it'll be fine.
Plus,
Yeah.
besides, I'm gonna be around real soon. I'm gonna be down there on the trip real soon.
Yeah.
So if there's any conflict, I will resolve that immediately.
Yes, I know. But
Well,
I got to live here.
Yeah, you do. You got to live with. That's the reason why you got them guns up in the house. You
That's
might have
why
to pop off.
Look, I got the blicky on me at all times. So
All
I
right,
live in the South.
Before we wrap up this dilly dallying, I want to talk about me and my friendliness when I've been drinking.
Mm.
So I was agitated Wednesday night because something that was supposed to happen didn't go well. Not agitated like feelings hurt, but just agitated like I don't understand why this didn't work. And so
It's
I'm pissed off.
irritating.
It's
Yeah.
irritating. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially me, I'm meticulous and I plan accordingly and I don't understand why things didn't work out the way it was supposed to work out.
Right.
So my building was having a wine and cheese party. And at first I didn't think I was going to be able to make it because the thing that I was doing got pushed back
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to. And so I was like, I texted one of my friends that lives in the building, like, I'm not gonna be able to make it. I got too much going on right now.
Yeah.
But when the thing went left, I decided, let me go upstairs and go check it out. And it just so happened that I caught my friend coming off the elevator as I was coming off the elevator. I was like, look, we arrived just on time, CP time.
Yeah.
So I walk in there and the property manager's in there and one of the leasing agents is in there and there's a few people in there. I'm like, I haven't had a touch of alcohol yet. So immediately I'm like, let me pour the biggest glass of wine that I can.
Yes. Yeah.
And I start drinking. Jay, at the end of the night, first of all, me and four other dudes closed down when everybody had left.
Mm-hmm.
Me and four other dudes closed down the joint. By the end of the night, I had to given my phone number out to
No.
5 different people.
No.
4
No.
men and 1 woman.
No. No.
All new friends
You have
that
to hang
live
out
in the
with them
building.
now.
Nope.
Nope. Oh no, that's the worst.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for good conversation.
Yes.
And at this party, even my friend was like, you being messy as hell. Because I was being messy because I knew certain people's stories. And
Yeah.
you know me, I'm going to start prying.
Mhm.
and I was prying and getting all this information because I'm a sucker for not superficial conversation, but in-depth conversation. We was having some
Yes.
in-depth conversation. God came up, relationships came
If
up.
you missing a tooth, I want to know why.
Exactly.
What happened?
But I'll bring it up in a certain way. And you know what I kept saying to everybody at the party?
Yeah.
Hey, let me ask you a question. And if I'm overstepping my bounds or being, I'm not meaning to be disrespectful. I'm just really interested in people. Why did your wife leave you? You know what I'm saying? Why did you break up with so-and-so? I thought you had a roommate. What happened with your roommate?
That is madness.
Oh, I am messy as hell. And don't
Yes.
nobody know anything about me except the fact that I got a podcast. That went around really quickly because the assistant property manager knows it and was like, hey, you know, we have a building right down the road that's an influencer building. You can get cheaper rent living there and being an influencer. I was like, but I'm not an influencer. They're like, no, yeah, you kind of are. I was like, no, I am not. I have a podcast. And I was like, that's an influencer. It's like, you might want to look into it. Not like we want you to move out because we like having you here. But I was like, oh, okay. And then everybody started saying, so you have a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, I don't really like put it out with people like that live that close to me because I'm not really trying to have that, but yeah, okay. And what do you talk about? I was like, well, you know, I talk about everything, really, things that interest me. Give me an example. I did this interview and this interview. Me and my sister talked about this. Oh, wow, I'm going to subscribe. Okay, check it out. Just know that I'll be real on that show. So, so you're going to get a different perspective of it. An unsolicited one. But no, I mean, I made a bunch of new friends. Luckily, nobody has texted me.
Thank God. Maybe they also are on the other side like, oh my God, I got his number. I got a couple people number. I don't want to. It was the wine. Wine will do that.
Yes. I think wine makes me, first of all, wine is dangerous because
wine is extremely dangerous.
It makes me really social, which I'm already am when alcohol hits my lips. And then it makes me feel sexy.
It does. It does that. It's something about holding the glass and you swirling it to let it breathe or something. It's something about it, but it does. It really does. That's why it's dangerous.
I'm back in my house after this whole scenario, and I'm like, man, I want some wine, and I poured myself some bourbon, and I was like, this ain't hitting right.
It's not hitting the same.
So I turned on Tank and Jodeci, and I was like, all right, well, now the vibe is back.
The vibe's right. The vibe is right.
But I guess I got some new friends that I guess are just like me, don't want to hit up. But one person was like, hey, man, let's start a group chat with all of us. And I was like, nah, that person got an Android. I don't really want to do a group chat with an Android user.
That's a lot. That's a lot. We don't need to start a group chat. Honestly, when I meet somebody, I initiate. I initiate so that I can control where it goes. And I say, you know what? You got an Instagram? Let's follow each other. And that's how I get out of giving people my phone number.
That's probably the best way. But then again, I get a lot of DMs from people and tags from people that I'm just like, I don't feel like responding to this.
But you can always be like, oh, you know what? I'm the worst at my DMs. I never look at my DMs.
Well, I've become the worst at my DMs because I'm just like, I don't feel like responding to all this.
I've become bad at it too. There's like maybe like 20 minutes in every day where I'll go and I'll look at them and see if there's anything like somebody's asking me or like anything pressing. If it's just memes and stuff, then I'm like, okay, I'll look at them when I have time, usually like before bed or something like that. But other than that, I am so incredibly busy. I have a huge presentation to give tomorrow for my graduate research assistantship. And I'm just so busy. Like I'm the worst at my social media, but that's my excuse
Yeah, that's a good
And
excuse.
so I preemptively say, you know what, you got social media, you got Instagram. Let me get your Instagram, and I'll give out my Instagram all day long, but you ain't gonna get my number.
Well,
It's very rare that you get my number.
another reason why I was like, all right, because I don't like to give out my number either. And typically I'll be like, no, I don't want to do that. I've said that before,
Yeah,
especially in my big age now. But
yeah,
it was me included, 3 other Black men
yeah,
that just wanted to, like, we were talking Superman and Centers, and then movie
yeah,
Centers, and then like we was bonding as Black men, and there's not a lot of us living in this building, so it was like, okay, like I'm cool with that, and they were cool brothers as well. Like,
yeah,
we didn't have not one barbershop conversation.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was intellectual, stimulating conversation, and I'm a sucker
About
for that.
Superman, sure.
What I mean, yeah, it was actually. But on that note, ladies and gentlemen, try not to shoot your shot with people while you working or while they working.
Yeah, let people live. Like, let people just have a normal interact. I'm just coming into a quick trip to grab me a blue raspberry slush. You don't need to tell me. You don't need to shoot your shot from behind the counter.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to get my slush and go home.
just
Thank
trying
you.
to get the slush and go home. But speaking of jobs, when is the right time for you to quit your job? We're gonna get into that next. All right, Jay, this article came across and I was like, this was interesting. I want to talk about it. It's 6 reasons it could be time to quit your job, according to an executive coach. The story is by Insider at insider.com. The author is Perry Ormont Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Okay, so the article outlines 6 key reasons why it might be time to quit your job, according to executive coach Laura Gassner Otting. Look, it's going to be Laura and Perry from now on. I'm not going to say their full government names, including the middle.
You got them right.
I did get them right, though.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that while stability is often prioritized in uncertain economic times, workers should assess their current roles critically to determine if they align with their personal and professional goals. The reasons discussed go beyond monetary considerations and focus on factors such as emotional well-being, career growth, and alignment with life circumstances. The article also highlights the importance of defining success based on personal values rather than societal or external expectations. Now, you recently said, "The hell with this job."
Yes, and I am known for that.
Look, let me tell you something. I've been doing the same job for almost 20 years now, so I haven't quit. But before that time, from 1999, from 2000 to 2003, I averaged 6 W-2s every time I did my taxes. Like, I was known to be like, to quit a job. I'll never forget how I quit working at Best Buy. I was working at Best Buy, which at the time was my dream job, because I was like, I was in the computer section selling people computers. It wasn't on commission, so I didn't have to like oversell people and try and hustle them out. And I was like, I remember the tagline when Best Buy first started: "We don't try to sell you anything, we work for you." And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to be a part of. And when I got there, that wasn't the case, because they was trying to hustle people on warranties. And I remember this one time I was selling this older couple a computer. And when I talk about older, they were like 60s, 70s, right? And they were just like, hey, we just want to email our grandkids. It's like, look, if you're just emailing your grandkids, this little lower end computer is all you need.
Yeah.
So my manager walks up to me, the big manager, the manager of the entire store. I was like, yeah, we want to ring these people up. He's like, did you sell them the performance service plan? I was like, no, I didn't. Why not? We got to push those performance service plans. I was like, look, what they're using the computer for is minimal.
Yeah.
They don't need the performance service plan because the computer is so cheap. If it breaks in a year or two, they could just buy a new one. I'm not going to hustle these people out. He didn't like that response. But remember, I'm a college student that's a history major, and and I had written for the school newspaper, so I'm going to stand up for what I believe in.
You go 10 toes down. Got
10
it.
toes down. I'm still like that too, by the way.
Yes.
And so I had started working at Hard Rock. I had 2 jobs. I was working at Hard Rock and Best Buy. And so Best Buy said they had to have this big team meeting before the store opened one day. And it was the same day I was supposed to be working at Hard Rock. So I asked Hard Rock, I said, hey, I have another job. We got to do a meeting. Is it okay if I push back my start time an hour or so? I'll stay later. Managers at Hard Rock says, no problem. Thank you for giving us advance notice. We'll work with you. Come in when you can get here. I was like, great. I walked to the Best Buy meeting. They open the door. We're not open. I'm not working that day.
Yeah.
The manager says, where's your shirt? Because you had to have the Best Buy shirt on. It's like, I'm not working today. Doesn't matter. You're supposed to have your shirt on. I was like, nobody told that to me. Nobody said, make sure to wear your shirt at this meeting. I was like, why would I wear a shirt at the meeting that I'm not working that day?
I'm not working.
That the store is closed.
That's just them being a hard ass. That's what that is. Yeah.
So the store is closed. We're having a meeting. And then the manager goes again. And this is like, some people don't have their shirt on. Now, granted, I'm the only one without the shirt on. So I'm the only one who did not get the memo. Nobody told me.
Yeah.
But it's like he's calling me out after he had already said something prior. So I said, hey, don't worry about it. I know it's me. You can go to hell. I don't like this place anyway. Let me up out of here. I quit. Walked out.
Hey.
I was making my money at Hard Rock anyway. I was like, I was just doing y'all a favor by still coming up in here. I just wanted the discounts.
Because I don't know who you think I am.
Right.
Listen, I remember the first job that I really quit, like I walked out and quit. Like I didn't give 2 weeks notice. My first little job, I worked at the grocery store and I helped people put their bags in their car.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I worked at the grocery store. And one day a guy said, "You too cute to be out here." And I said, "You know what, you're right." So I put in my 2 weeks. Plus it was, I was 14, y'all. I was 14. So my next little job, I worked at a craft store. I'm not gonna say which one.
I don't remember that. This was in
high school. I was 15 and I worked at a craft store and I had an event at school. And I told them I have an event at school this night. So don't put me on schedule. I gave them plenty of time. They put me on a schedule. I went to my manager. I said, I have an event at school. I'm 15. I'm a student. I have an event at school that I have to go to tonight. I'm not going to, that night I'm not going to be able to work. Well, you're scheduled, so you have to be here. I said, I don't have to be here. That's slavery. And it's frowned on in this part of the world. And she didn't like that. And I said, well, I don't have to be here at all. And I just took off my little smile. Dropped it. I said, I'm 15. I still live at home with my parents. You think I need this job? Ma'am, I'm 15 years old. I'm a high school student. I could quit anytime.
Look, you told her you're not the one or the two.
Not even.
All right. So as we told our versions of it, what are some key reasons to quit your job based on this article and based on not us deciding that we don't want to work, but by a real executive coach?
Yes.
One of the key reasons is exhaustion and energy drain. If you work in an environment, if your work environment leaves you feeling drained daily due to interactions with your boss, colleagues, or even clients, it may hinder your ability to perform at your best and lead to a career stagnation.
Yeah. That's real. Like burnout is absolutely real. And there are so many, having worked in corporate for over a decade, there are so many people in leadership who don't understand how real burnout, exhaustion, energy drain can be and how it can affect every aspect of your life. A lot of times when I do leave a job, it's because they don't understand. Not only are you making it more difficult for me to work by micromanaging, or maybe it's more difficult for me to work here because of microaggressions or macroaggressions, but I'm burned out and you don't care. Like the best leaders understand that they work for their employees. It's not the other way around. You're there as a resource. You're there to lead, not to manage, not to micromanage, certainly, and not to make the job more difficult for your employees. You're supposed to be able to make it easier for your employees by blocking things, standing in the way between them and the higher ups and things like that. Like, that's your role. And a lot of people don't understand that in leadership. And when that employee gets burned out, once that light turns out, it's over.
Yeah.
It's a quiet quitting until they actually quit.
I have a friend of mine that worked for a company, well-known company that will remain nameless because I ain't getting sued. And I remember one time I was hanging out with them and their boss called. I'm like, you got to take this phone call right now. I was like, I got to take it right now. And I could hear the boss yelling and cussing at him
Yeah.
through the phone.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, who the hell are you letting talk to
Yeah.
you like that? Because I would go up to the office right now and slam him through a window. Once again,
Ain't no
ladies
way.
and gentlemen, this is the reason why I don't have a corporate job.
Mm.
Because I'm gonna take it to the physical.
Yeah.
And this person my friend stayed at the job for years,
Yeah.
4 years. And so much so, like, this was a young person, like 10 years younger than me. And they had to have, they put like heart monitors on their chest because they started having heart palpitations. And I would
That's
look
crazy.
at him and say, yo, bro, you are stressed out. This isn't good for your health. The reason why he finally left, get this, he got bonuses, right, for his job.
Mm-hmm.
The company tried to say, well, we gave you more bonus than what we already did. Already paid him. We gave you more bonus than what we already did. So we're going to deduct $3,000 over the course of several checks to get that money back. He was like, no, well, first of all, you didn't overpay me. This was my bonus. And
Yeah.
no, the hell, you're not going to deduct it.
No.
They did. He quit. He sued. He got his money back.
Yep. Absolutely.
So your work environment is very important. And that's
Yeah.
funny because that leads into the second example of why you might need to quit your job. And it's something that I never even thought about. Reoccurring Sunday scaries.
Yes.
Feeling dread
my
every
God.
Sunday evening about returning to work indicates a lack of inspiration or satisfaction in your role.
Yes.
Now, I can't throw this person under the bus, but okay. I definitely can't say the name, and I can't say, I'm just going to say that we dated. I'm going to say that we dated. Okay. Every Sunday, every single Sunday, she would cry hysterically. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I got to go to work tomorrow. And I'm like, yo, if it's that bad, quit.
Yeah.
Like, if you dreading, like, I have to work tomorrow. I don't have the Sunday scaries because I actually like my job. And I would like it to be a little less intrusive, but I like my job. But so have you ever experienced the Sunday scaries?
Absolutely. It ruins your entire weekend. You really, when you work corporate and you don't like your job, or not even corporate, when you don't like your job and you say you work Monday through Friday and you have Saturday and Sunday off, you have Saturday off. Because Sunday you spend with a knot in your stomach, dreading Monday morning. Not only that, not only do you get Sunday scaries, and I know people out there feel me on this, you get nightmares. You actually have nightmares about your job and missing something, missing a deadline, or just, I remember looking and seeing that little red light on my phone that I had voicemails, or just the dread of the thought of opening my email inbox on Monday morning and seeing all the things that were in there. It's a horrible feeling, and you don't even get to enjoy your time off because all you're thinking about is, I got to go back to this place. And it's even worse when you're remote because it's in your home. You see it. My desk was in my room at the time. And so every day that I woke up, I saw my work computer. And it was just a nightmare. And that's 100% of the reason why I made a career pivot, because working in the same industry for as long as I have, and I've gone, I've worked at several different companies, big companies, small companies. And I was like, I really can't find any fulfillment anywhere. And I'm like, it's the job itself. That's why I need to make a career pivot. But a lot of times it is the environment. It's the people you work with. It's the people you work for, and them making the job more difficult than it has to be. And it's literally the worst. I remember our uncle, when he retired, he said, you remember how that dread you used to feel on Sundays? I don't feel that anymore. And I said, if you don't get off my phone, but but it's true. Like, when you finally get to let that go, it's such a weight off.
I wonder if, well, no, because obviously you talked about our uncle and wasn't no soft man at all. Not to say that this would be soft anyway, but I wonder if it's more prevalent in gender roles with women. The reason why I said this is because I was watching a clip, Ryan Davis, a funny comedian, He's not paying me for this, but he just came out with a special that you can buy on his Patreon. Buy it. He's hilarious. I've gone to see him in person twice. Never regret it. Never regret it.
Yeah.
He was talking about how women can have a job that pays them $1 million an hour. This was a joke. $1 million an hour. But because the environment isn't right, because they don't like the people, they'll quit their job.
Yeah.
While men are just simply saying they paying $1 million an hour, sign me up no matter what it is.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe there is some truth to it. Obviously, it's generalized, right? Like you can have specific
for sure.
instances where this is not the case. But women prefer happiness over everything.
Yeah.
And men don't necessarily, we'll get into gender roles in the next segment, but men don't necessarily consider happiness when making moves, generally speaking.
Yeah, and that's why our life expectancy is longer. No, I mean, I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass. It is more men should prioritize their well-being over the monetary gain. Because if you take your job and you say, take the salary out of it, would I choose to be here? If the answer is no, then you should not be there. You shouldn't be there. You shouldn't, like your friend was male, the one that the boss was cussing at him. Absolutely unacceptable. But willing to put up with it for the salary and the bonuses. And the only reason he left is because they started messing with the money. That's not enough. You should have left when the first time the voice got raised and a curse word came out. I would have been straight to HR. There's no way.
You would have went straight to HR. I would have went straight to the face, but that's the reason why,
That's why you stay where you at. Yeah. Stay in your lane.
But speaking on money, though, another reason why you should leave your job based on this article is financial misalignment. If your salary only covers basic living expenses, need to make a certain number, right? But doesn't allow for discretionary spending or lifestyle upgrades. I want to make a number instead of I need to make a certain salary. I want to make a certain salary. It may be time for a change.
Yeah, for sure.
I love, there's somebody close to us that says the only true way to get a raise is by switching jobs.
Yeah. A lot of times, because you'll put in the time, you'll put in the effort, you think that your effort will be rewarded. It's not. Listen, if you show up and show out at work, the only thing that you're going to do is bring yourself trouble. And what I mean by that is people will start to view you as one, indispensable in that role. So they're not trying to let you move up or out into another role. They find you indispensable, and then they start to rely on you, and they start to put more and more on you without reevaluating your compensation. And a lot of people don't have that conversation of saying, okay, you're giving me more responsibility. Are we going to also talk about reevaluating my compensation? No,
give me that money.
Yeah, give me that money. No, because you think, okay, if I just put my head down and grind, they'll see my efforts and they'll see my work and they'll see my work product and I'll be rewarded. No, you won't. Only thing that you get is more work piled up on your desk.
That won't work.
It's the truth. Take everything you learn from that position and go find you one that's going to pay you what you're worth. And a lot of that also is people not negotiating for their salaries and asking for what you're worth. You are bringing value to that company. Your presence is a value add, and they need to compensate you appropriately for that. And that's my corporate jargon right now coming out. But that's the truth. You need to start asking for what you want. Stop undervaluing yourself. And a lot of times people are like, man, I'm just making ends meet. And you're working 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
No, there is a company out there. There is a position out there for you that will pay you what you're worth. Go find it.
So that was also another one of the reasons to quit your job, if you're being undervalued. But I feel like you wrapped that up perfectly. We don't need to go into much detail. But my friend, when he left that job, he was definitely undervalued. Now he's at a different job. It's remote. He loves it. He makes more money.
Yeah.
These are things that you need to be thinking of. Also, limited growth potential is another reason why you should leave your job. Being boxed into narrow responsibilities or lacking opportunities for advancement can stifle ambition. Seeking roles that align with your aspirations is essential. Look,
Yeah.
some people are worker bees. Some people want to go into the office, do their little job, go home, that's it. Some people don't want to advance. Some people don't want more responsibility. We know somebody close to us that never wants to be a manager.
Yes.
I love being a manager because, one, it pays more money, and two, I like telling people what to do. That's not the real reason. That's not the real reason. I'm just a people person, and I think I manage well because I'm a coach at heart. But if your job is not giving you any opportunity and advancement and you want advancement, it's time to leave. Now, if you don't want it, cool.
Then
but if you do, you got to bounce.
Yeah. And start with having that conversation, and you know when they're playing you. Like, you know when they're playing you. When you go to them and be like, hey, I've been here for a while. I think my work product, speaks for itself. I think I'm ready to take on more. And if they say, oh, yeah, 6 months, I think we review time comes around. If they start doing that kind of thing, then they have no intention of moving you. They like you where you are, and they have no intention of investing in you. But that's just also, again, it leads back to bad management. A good manager, a good supervisor wants their people to grow, wants to develop their people. So if somebody is trying to keep you down, keep your career at the same level and in the same place because they rely on you being in that role instead of developing somebody else, but let you mentor somebody. If they like what you do, okay, great. I'll mentor someone to take over my position so that I can advance and do something else, something that actually brings me some fulfillment, something that's actually challenging, something that actually feel rewarding to me. You got to go.
Got to go. So the main thing from this article is define success personally.
Yes.
The article stresses the importance of creating a personalized definition of success instead of adhering to outdated societal norms like climbing the corporate ladder for prestige alone. So, if you want to climb that corporate ladder because that's what you want to do, cool. But there's some other factors that you need to take in place if you're really unhappy at your job. And guess what? I know the economy is kind of bad right now. The job market is, I don't know what it really is, but you can get another job. Don't quit your job before getting a new job. I will say this, because somebody on this podcast is notorious for quitting a job before she got a new one. And I said she, so y'all know who the hell I'm talking about. I wouldn't do that.
I said at the top of this that I'm known for this. Listen, if I'm in a situation and I can put up with a lot. And to a certain extent, being Black in corporate America, being a woman in corporate America, being a Black woman in corporate America, there are certain things that we know you're going to have to, there are microaggressions and macroaggressions and little things that you're going to have to deal with. And it's unfortunate. Always advocate for yourself. But if things get to the point where it's just untenable to stay, you got to go, even if that other opportunity is not there. I mean, it's going to come. It's going to come. Like, now, if you bad at your job, and that's why you're miserable, because they put you on a performance improvement plan and all type of stuff, and you ain't doing, you ain't showing up to work on time, and you be leaving early and all kind of stuff.
Long lunch breaks.
If you bad at your job, then that's your fault.
Right.
But if you're actually someone who is performing well and is just being undervalued, look for that other opportunity. Don't be afraid to take a risk and look for that other opportunity, because it is out there. There is a company that will value you and respect you and want to develop you. So just go find them. They're out there.
But speaking of quitting, not your job, not anymore. Don't quit your job anymore unless you, first of all, again, like I said, unless you got another job. But speaking of quitting, American dudes is quitting American women. And we're going to get into that next. Jay, there was a merging clash of situations that happened this week.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'll elaborate. So I had a conversation with somebody, a female, about reason why her and her boyfriend broke up.
Okay.
Because I'm messy and I like to ask
You
a bunch
want
of
to know the
questions.
details.
Yeah, I want
Yes,
to know
of
the
course.
details.
Of course.
And then I guess I put it in the ether. I put it in the atmosphere that I was interested about this. And then there was a Vice documentary
Mhm.
about this mass craze of passport bros going to Colombia. Now, we've
Yeah.
talked about passport bros before.
Yes.
I don't want to solely talk about passport bros. And I don't want to solely talk about the dynamic of relationships between men and women here in America, because we've done that as well.
Mhm.
I want to bring them all together. This is what I mean. So the woman I spoke to, she was given a bunch of different reasons of why that she decided to break up.
Mhm.
One of the reasons that she gave was that he didn't really have anything to say. He wasn't that intelligent.
Mm.
And a lot of the situations from this documentary, and I'll get into more specifics about the documentary later on, but one of the general themes of a lot of these passport bros is that they feel like traditional roles and values are gone.
Mhm.
And they are going to Colombia because a lot of those women believe in the traditional trad, they want to be trad wives, right? They
Yeah,
believe in
yeah.
those traditional values at home. You also had this dynamic where women are not outpacing, have
Mhm.
blown past men in education and in work. You also have another dynamic where women, we're 2 generations removed. But at one generation, there were women that looked at their moms and all they were housewives.
Mhm.
Teachers or nurses, that's all they could be, even if they had a college degree.
Yeah.
They said that I didn't want to do that. That's where the feminist movement in the 1970s took hold. Those women became mothers and had daughters, and they were still homemakers as well, still tending to the children, cooking dinner, but also had careers.
Yeah.
And then they would look at their mother and was like, why isn't dad helping? You have a job just like he has a job. Y'all are both kind of bringing in the same amount of money. Why is the work around the house not being distributed evenly?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're saying, well, that's not what I want to have. And a lot of men are just like, well, a lot of these passport bros, I'm not gonna say a lot of men, a lot of these, the majority of the passport bros are like, well, I want that old 1950s situation where basically you have your place. And women are like, well, wait a minute, why would I have my place when I make more money than you?
Right.
And I'm more educated than you are.
Mhm.
What else are you bringing to the table? And when I had this conversation with the woman, I was like, it's funny because when I was in a marriage, me and my ex-wife had cleaning duties.
Yeah.
Mine was, because I'm anal about it, pun intended, about the bathroom.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So mine was the bathroom. My job is to clean the bathroom. She chose the kitchen. She would always talk about, well, when we split, she would talk about how the cleaning duties weren't fair. And I was like, that's the room that you chose. You chose the kitchen. I chose the bathroom. I didn't realize at the time, and I didn't realize until I lived with myself, the kitchen needs to be cleaned every day.
Every single day. That's what I was doing this morning before the podcast.
Right. Every single day. The bathroom, once a week. If you're anal like me, twice, maybe 3 times a week. Not because it's messy, just because, you don't like a whole lot of germs in the bathroom. You just don't want that.
Right.
It's not the same. That the work disparity at home isn't the same. And I hear this a lot from my female friends who are wives and mothers. They all are career women. And then they come home and their husband is playing Call of Duty while they are getting the kids taken together, preparing dinner, doing all these other things. And men are like, I help, but not really.
No.
So I found it interesting as a whole that there is this mass exodus of men saying, well, we're going to go to another country to find our wives. And there are women here in this country that's just like, be better.
Yeah. Yeah. So here's the thing. It's not like there aren't women in the US or in the West in general. Colombia is in the West, so I'll say in the US in general who don't want to be trad wives. They act like 100% of American women don't want to be trad wives. That's absolutely not the case. There are actually plenty of women in this country who would love for their sphere or their domain to be the home and the man provide and all the things. But the problem is they don't want to do that either. Okay. And the thing about going to places like Colombia, these places are chosen intentionally. And it is not because the women there want more traditional gender roles. It is because of financial control. The whole point of wanting to go back or make America great again, or all that crap, the whole point is about maintaining financial control. The fact that women can get educations and actually get jobs that align with their educations, and actually we haven't yet, but we're working towards closing that gender wage gap and things like that. Like, the fact that women can now be the breadwinner is the issue. The issue has always been financial. It's never been. And now, because women are also working that 40, 50 hours a week, also contributing half toward the bills and the mortgage, they're expecting equity in the home.
Yes. And what's the difference between equality and equity? Equality is sameness, uniformity. Equity is fairness.
Yes.
Yes, it was equal that I had the bathroom and was cleaning the bathroom, and she had the kitchen.
Because technically you had one room, she had another room.
That's uniformity. That's equality.
There
wasn't
equitable.
equity because she has to clean the kitchen every single day. And I only got to clean the bathroom once or twice a week. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And so, bro, you might mow the lawn once a week.
Yeah.
Are you unloading the dishes? Are you doing it? And so also there was another thing when I had this conversation with this woman, when she talked about another reason why they broke up is because, he just wasn't that bright. The idea that men don't have anything of depth to have conversation about, right? Like, it can't always be barbershop. This is the reason why a lot of my friends are now female. I'm collecting female friends like Thanos Infinity Stones. Like, and not just females. If you a dude that's got more than just, is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? I'm past those conversations. Intellectually, it's not stimulating to me at all, right? I want to learn something from you. And if that's the dynamic in my relationships now, well, that's just the dynamic in my relationships. So I'm having the conversation with this woman, and she's nodding her head because, like, I understand what she's saying as far as there not being equity in the home, how she had to get on them to clean right. And that there wasn't a whole lot of depth to the conversations. And then I conversely said, a lot of men are not taught these things.
Yeah.
A lot of men, one time when I was staying with mom, I stayed with mom for a couple of months, and I was cleaning the tub. And you've seen me clean the bathroom.
Yes.
I was cleaning the tub.
Yes.
And there was some mildew, and I couldn't get all the mildew out. Mom comes behind me. I didn't notice she did. She comes behind me and cleans it. And it's almost like it's brand new. Use the same stuff that I did. I'm like, Mom, how'd you do that? I just know how to clean it. I was like, well, I want to know how to clean it like that.
Yeah.
Because I tried my best. I used the same stuff and it didn't come out like you did. So there are times where women will say to a man, this is how you do it. Man, don't pick it up right away. I'll have a little bit of patience. Pick it up. But men also had the patience to learn to pick up how to do things the right way.
Yeah. A lot of times you'll have people weaponize their incompetence.
I used to do it all the time.
Yeah. And or just purposefully do things incorrectly so that she'll be like, fine, I'll just do it myself.
I used to do it to mom all the time. Go wash those dishes.
And it's true. I mean, there are a lot of men who grow up in households where they didn't have to do these things. They took out the garbage and they mowed the lawn. Like, that was they raked the leaves. Like, that was their chore.
Quote unquote men jobs.
Yeah, men jobs. And so, like, that was their chore. And so learning how to load a dishwasher properly, not just putting stuff in there anywhere. There's a way to load the dishwasher effectively. Like,
I still don't know.
Like knowing that cleaning the kitchen is also involves wiping down the counters. Cleaning the floor, cleaning out the fridge, cleaning off the stove. Like, it also involves, like, it's not just doing the dishes and not just doing the dishes that fit in the dishwasher and leaving the rest of them in the sink. Like, it's, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but when you go behind them and be like, oh, do it this way, do it that way, whatever. It's nagging, it's this and that. Y'all, I don't do anything right. I'm not going to do it at all. Be open to learning new things. And that's for both people. Like, ladies, get out there and mow that lawn.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Get open to doing different things. And my thing is, like, it's just me. So if something breaks down, if I need to change a socket, or like, like, I have to learn how to do those things. I take out the garbage. I don't mow the lawn. I'm allergic to grass, but I pay somebody to do it.
You pay somebody to do it that's hitting on you.
Right. But I rake the leaves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's being open to learning things that are traditionally outside of your scope. But you got people, you have these passport bros who want to, one, take their $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 salaries down to Colombia and live in luxury, number one, which
That's
you're not being able to do here.
That's one of the points that this documentary made, that they are living in luxury because 1,000,000 pesos is $250.
Yes.
And you can go a long way with 1,000,000 pesos.
Yes. I've been to Colombia. It is very affordable. Your American dollar goes very far down there.
Yeah.
But they're it's about asserting control. It's about placing yourself on a pedestal. And if you find that you're not being placed on a pedestal in your home country, it might be because you ain't supposed to be.
Well, so another thing from this documentary, and it warns these passport bros, is like, you think these women are so inviting, not to put this general across Colombian women, but you think these women are so inviting. There's been many cases where guys get drugged and robbed. Like, it could be a setup because they know that you coming down there to exploit them, and they're not as dumb as you think they are. People aren't as dumb as you think they are.
No.
And a lot of these passport bros, they always want to call themselves red pillars and alpha males. First of all, I've gone and linked about what I feel about alpha and beta. Everybody's an alpha and beta. It depends on the circumstances.
Yes.
I am both of them.
Yes.
Sometimes I will be in the front. Sometimes I play the back.
Yes.
I'm not weak in any way, but being a beta doesn't make you weak. Being a beta means, like, sometimes you just know what your place is in this current situation.
Right.
A lot of these dudes out here, by their definition, are beta men. They soft. They don't want to compete in today's environment. They think they should be handed everything, even though they don't know consciously that's what it is.
Yeah.
And women are passing us. And bruh, if you can't keep up, I feel sorry for you, because these women ain't gonna stop. And I don't know why y'all want them to stop. There is nothing more attractive to me than a woman that got her own and is going out there and get it. The majority of the time that I'm dating women in the last 5-6 years, they're either as intelligent as I am or more intelligent than I am. Now, that don't mean that I can't carry a conversation, because I can still carry a conversation, but I want to have those type of conversations. And bruh, that's how you keep a woman.
Yeah.
You can't just, I gave her that good. Yeah, that a woman can be digmatized. That is absolutely true.
That's absolutely true. Yes.
But it only lasts for so long.
Yeah.
And when they want something serious, and when they're ready for that, you are not going to be the one, or they're going to try to make you the one because you digmatize them. And then when they realize that you can't carry a conversation, that you can't sit down for 1 hour with nothing else distracting you and have a good conversation that's enlightening, enthralling, engaging, they're gonna be like, why am I with this person? Because let me tell you something. Women can be stigmatized by men that can do those things.
Yes. Just saying.
Yeah, you know.
There's a work husband out there waiting to take your spot.
Yep. And so these passport bros, you know, I don't knock them. Let them live their life. Look, I don't knock anybody. If that's the life you want to live, that's the life you want to live. But stop making excuses by saying that something is wrong with American women because they want to be better. Like if you can't support somebody because they want to be better, good riddance.
If it threatens you that I have hopes and dreams and goals that I want to accomplish, that's weird. That's deeply weird.
Yeah. As Tim Wall says, y'all are weird.
Yeah.
Y'all are weird.
But it's, you know, I see you got in the notes here, it's like in Medellin, Colombia, these men claim to find women who embody traditional values, provide domestic care, and offer what they described as, quote, king treatment. There's a lot of court jesters out there expecting king treatment.
That's good. Did you? Bing. That was fantastic. Yeah. So if anybody wants to watch this documentary, it's on Vice. It's from Vice. The report is Passport Bros in Colombia, part of a Follow the Leader documentary series hosted by Jameli Maddox.
Yeah, I think it's Jamali Maddox.
Okay, close enough. Definitely go check that out. It's a good watch. Vice does good work.
They really do.
Vice does great work. If you really want to know what's going on and about certain subjects, they really do real investigative reporting.
Yes.
I really love Vice. But on that note, Jay, what do you want to tell these people out here?
You at work. Be professional. I'm at work. Leave me alone. It ain't that hard. There's a time and a place for everything. This ain't it.
Not it. And on that note, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Yeah, you got Evo Lottie, got more head than you got body.
It is what it is.
I like this I got this teleprompter now that I don't have to, answer Harry Belafonte.
I was gonna get that, but every app that I found, you had to pay for it.
No. It's the prompter is in the thing.
Oh, it's a part of Riverside?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I said. Shit. I'm going with Black Witness Rebels. Shit.
That's where I'm going. Shit.
All right, what are we talking about?
I got something for Dylan.
I know. I got that in the first segment, but we talking. Do you know if you need to quit your job and Passport Bros? I got a really interesting conversation. I think I want to go in with that.
With Passport Bros?
Well, yeah, Passport Bros and relationships and gender dynamics and all that. I had an interesting conversation this weekend, so I'm going to kind of lead that. But okay. Let's get started. How am I going to do the intro?
Oh, you got the feather in today.
Yeah, got the feather. Got the
dangle. Got the dangle on these bitches.
All right, let me do this intro.
I'm in a good mood.
Good. Stop talking so I can do this intro.
I'm in a really good mood.
That damn segue. Look, let me tell you something.
That was tough. I didn't even, I was like, wait a minute. Did I tee him up perfectly?
Well, I set you up to tee me up.
Shit.
It was an alley-oop to an alley-oop. Just
that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, well, I'm getting good at this. This is what I'm talking about.
Let me bite my bagel. I bought a bagel so that I wouldn't get so hungry that I start to get delirious.
Okay, that's probably a good idea.
Cause I know you didn't yet.
Nope. No, I did not.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Okay, I'll mark wine and cheese off the list. There you go. Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's let this count down for a little bit.
Just chewing my bagel. Done.
Really wish you would stop saying words. That segue wasn't as good. I fumbled it.
I thought it was all right.
It was all right, but it wasn't like the first one.
It was all right, almost.
In between this last segment and filming the next round of stuff, I got to go to the bathroom. I've been peeing a lot lately. Because I've been drinking a lot. I think I drank like a gallon of water already today. I went and worked out this morning already. I don't know, like, did something nice little, just to get my heart rate up, nice and easy.
I think I'm gonna get on the treadmill today because I had something sweet yesterday. So
that's not how it works, but okay. Are you ready?
It makes me feel better.
Okay, mentally. All right, that works.
Yes.
All right. Whew. That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.